Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is episode number 7 of our Football Manager 2017 experiment with the Big Six going into the Vanarama National League. And finally, we can say goodbye to that league. We have 2 teams now in League 2, 2 in League 1, and 2 in the Championship. So Premier League football will be returning to at least 2 of our Big Six, hopefully next season. They should get themselves promoted through the Championship, although it will not be easy. It depends what kind of team they're going to be tackling it with, because a lot of players have moved on. In Sky Bet League 2, Liverpool, Shea Ojo is the only real big transfer, and for someone with as much promise as him, that is a really low price. But what can I say? A lot of weird things going on this. Man City have brought in Callum McGregor. Now, that could be a really shrewd signing for this kind of league. He's the kind of player that will run rings around people without taking too much money. But there we go. There's no real big transfers in League 2. Let's have a little look at League 1. Okay, so Champions Derby have been quite busy. They've picked up Willian from Chelsea for an absolute steal of a price at 11 million with add-ons to take it up to 14 and 3/4. But Mark Cunliffe, whoever he is, has gone to them. But there's not a lot of other business. I mean, Juan Cuadrado is going to play in League 1 with Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea have obviously maintained some reputation. I mean, they're picking up free transfers, which is good. I mean, you look at all that. Oh no, that's 2 free transfer. I do apologise. No, that's not gone from Chelsea. That's gone to Benfica from Chelsea for free. That's not the kind of thing they want to be doing, is losing players for free. I mean, you look at this, Nemanja Matic has gone on a free transfer to no one. Yeah, you don't want to be losing players on a free. I think Chelsea are going the wrong way about it. They may struggle come the Championship. But talking about the Championship, there were 2 new teams in there, Man United and Arsenal. Let's see if they've done any business. Okay, so there is some quite significant business going on in the Championship, as you would imagine would be the case. Marcus Rashford has moved to Leicester, who are 3-time Premier League champions, I suppose. 23 million. But our bigger teams haven't really done quite as much. I mean, whoever he is has moved from Arsenal to Lens. Vladimir Weiss, there's a blast from the past, ex-City and Rangers player, gone to Sheffield Wednesday. But with our Big Six, not a lot of business done, but it is, as you can see, the 2nd of July. The season is yet to start. One thing I'm going to quickly take you through is who is the current managers of these Big Six. That's one thing I don't think I've really picked up. So Man United are currently managerless, because I did notice when I was looking through on a couple of things that a couple of managers have moved on. I mean, Jose Mourinho is a favoured personnel, not an icon or a legend, of course, but Manchester United are currently managerless. We'll monitor this situation. Okay, so Arsenal still have Arsene Wenger as their manager. I mean, there's absolutely no surprise there, really, is there? Arsene Wenger still Arsenal manager. I suppose he'd still be Arsenal manager until he's about 110. But there we go. Arsene Wenger still Arsenal manager. Let's check out Tottenham and. Okay, so Mauricio Pochettino is still manager of Tottenham. So if Tottenham get themselves back into the Premier League before Pochettino gets picked up by someone, I got a real feeling that they would be one of my favourites to be the first of the Big Six to actually win the Premier Division in the end, because Pochettino was just a pure class manager. But let's check out Chelsea. Okay, so there's an interesting one. Eddie Howe is the manager of Chelsea. I'd imagine, obviously, because they've got such a big reputation still, that obviously Eddie Howe will be, the kind of person that they would pick up. Still a big enough club to pick up a good manager like Eddie, but then at the same time, the kind of manager they'd want to take them back into the Premier League. Make sure they get promoted every season now until they get back there. So yeah, Eddie Howe, Chelsea manager. Let's check out Man City and Liverpool. Okay, so the manager of Liverpool currently is Claudio Cesar Prandelli. I can't really say I've ever really heard of him, but one thing I've noticed on 2017 Football Manager is Jurgen Klopp tends to piss off quite often. So it's no surprise that Liverpool do have another manager. But if he's an up-and-coming popular foreign manager, then fair play. At least without Jurgen Klopp and as well, Mamadou Sakho is figuring for Liverpool as well, which in real life is something I think he should be. But I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, there we go. That's the manager of Liverpool. Finally, let's look at Man City. Okay, so Man City don't have a manager at the moment. So United and Man City both without a manager. We will come the next part that we go up to, which will be the next part we go up to is the end of the transfer window. So what we'll do, we'll have a little look who becomes the manager of Man City by then. Okay then, so here we are, League 2, after 5 games, Man City, Liverpool in 4th and 5th. I mean, not going to take an awful lot into consideration for the first 5. I mean, they lost at home to Crawley, Liverpool, and they drew with Man City. Man City drew with Luton and Liverpool. So, I'm not going to take an awful lot of that, but the transfer window is over. Let's see what transfers were made. Emre Can from Man City to Arsenal, so he's jumping up 2 divisions. Only playing Championship football, but still, Jason Denayer to Reading, that's a decent price for him, considering what other people are going for. Yeah, there's an awful lot of, sort of fringer, not fringer, that's not actually a word, but more on the fringe, players more on the fringe moving to the bigger clubs. But the thing is, these big clubs continue to rake the money in. Here's an interesting one, someone from Benfica to Wrexham. I wonder if that's got something to do with the possible increased reputations of clubs in the leagues. Is that having some sort of effect? Is the reputations of the clubs around them building around the big six as they go through the leagues? Well, for Benfica to sell a player to Wrexham, but looking at the transfer fee, he may have been a completely dumped player. We don't know. So yeah, I suppose I'm not going to look into that much. But like I say, some of these bigger players are moving on, but they have kept hold of a lot of their bigger players. We will look at that further into the season, but what we're going to do next is look into League. Okay, so in League 1, Chelsea, Tottenham leading the way. I'd imagine that's pretty much how it will finish at the end of the season. Tottenham only losing to Chelsea, but beating everyone else around them. Chelsea beating Tottenham and everyone around them. So look at the transfer activity in this division now. So Chelsea are making some mega bucks on some players. Man United, they've obviously still got an awful lot of money in the Championship to be buying players like Iwobi and Dyer. But the thing is, obviously, Arsenal have bought big, Man United have bought big. That's going to fare well in the Championship, I feel, which is exactly where we're going to go next. There's not an awful lot of other transfers worth talking about in there. So let's see the Championship. Okay, so in the Championship, I sort of predicted that Arsenal Man United may struggle. I didn't think they'd be the top 2 after the first few games, although you would expect them to be. Just goes to show they've obviously bought some big players which are going to help them be the top 2 in this division. So now, judging by the transfers, I suppose it depends if any have left. So, well, yeah, okay. So some of them have left. Man United have sold up on a couple of players. Marcus Rashford we knew about already, but Anthony Martial going to Juventus for a eventual £57 million fee. So they haven't really sold up, but they brought in, Arsenal have brought in some bigger players. Obviously, they're in a big enough league to attract these players now. So keeping hold of their money, as they have done, they've obviously been making money through the season because they've still been getting the good grades and that. So, to be honest with you, this is looking pretty straightforward, really. Basically, what I mean by that is what you'd expect is for them to just fire up the leagues, be able to sign wherever they want as they go up the leagues, and do it all first time. I was anticipating that they may struggle in areas, but to be honest, so far they haven't. And they are bringing in the good players, and they're going to blow this league apart, especially Arsenal, the players they brought in. Man United brought in a couple, but Arsenal are the ones who spent big. Is spending big now on these players going to affect their spending ability in the Premiership? Because you think this has been a long time of no Premier League money. So Arsenal and Man United are going to, in my opinion, are going to end up being the best 2 teams in the Premier League because of how far the other ones are behind. Except, will one season have an effect on Chelsea and Tottenham? Will Chelsea and Tottenham make it into the Premier League first time after they get promoted from League One? Will Liverpool and Man City follow suit with that. I mean, where they've got a couple of extra seasons to go, will Arsenal Man United have too much of a head start on them? I suppose there's an awful lot left to be presented to us, so let's see exactly where they are now at the end of November. So, okay then, we're on the end of November, and it's safe to say that we know how this is going to go. City, Liverpool, probably be in that order as well. Liverpool losing to Colchester and Crawley, both at home. I mean, we're getting some messed up results here. I mean, Wrexham drawing away 1-1, that's not so bad, and drawing with City. Yeah, not so bad, but losing like that at home to those teams. But I suppose cup upsets happen. If these teams were in the same division as these lower down teams, you can imagine that you are going to get the odd upset. So the fact is, Liverpool are going to go on and win this league. Oh yes, get in there, good old Newport County, get in the draw at Man City as well. How is my beloved doing anyway? Not so good in the relegation frame. But this isn't about Newport County, this is about the top six, and so far Man City and Liverpool are top two of League Two, as expected. Player overview. Harry Kane said at Man City, top scorer everywhere he goes. He's going to be the top scorer in every division up until he gets in the Premier League, probably be top scorer in the Premier League. That's if he stays at City, of course. Let's have a little look at League One. Okay, so Tottenham and Chelsea, top of League One, as expected, of course. Tottenham only losing to Chelsea, Chelsea losing away to Wickham. Like I say, no, these teams are going to lose some of these games. They are going to lose a few of them. Actually, we're going to quickly nip back to League Two, because remember we said we were going to look at the managers. Who's going to be the manager of Man City and Man United? So we'll check out Man City, and then we'll head straight to the champion. So here's a weird one for us then. Robert Nigel Newman. Let's click on him. He is a 55-year-old manager of Man City. No reputation at all. How in the God's name did he get the job? He's obviously been promoted from within. He's been a scout at Man City for 10 years, and somehow they've promoted him as manager. That's a strange one, that, isn't it? But we're not going to dwell on that. They're obviously doing well, the top of their league, so he's obviously doing well. Pretty much anyone could do well with Man City in League Two, but, you know, still got to make it happen, haven't you? Let's go out to League One. We haven't had a look at the players' stats. Okay, so Tammy Abraham is the top scorer in League One at the moment. This is one that I think I brought this up before, that if these bigger teams sell their bigger players and save the money for when they're back in the Premier League, but use their younger players and bring them on to get them back up through the leagues, and then they got a war chest to hit the Premier League with when they get back in there, and these young players will already be good enough for the Premier League, maybe that could be one of the best ways of going about it. Well, this is a bit of proof that this could end up working out. Tammy Abraham, a young player at Chelsea, and is actually currently the top scorer in their league. It's a theory of mine. Whether it works or not come the Premier League, I don't know. But at the moment, this is proof that it may work. Anyway, let's check out the Championship for Arsenal and Man United, and we will check out who is the Man United manager. Okay, so as expected, Arsenal top, Man United second, only a point in it. Who have they lost to? Barnsley and Ipswich away. Yes, you know, that could happen. Huddersfield away for United, yeah, so. Drawing with Millwall and Cardiff. So, as it stands, Arsenal and United actually haven't played against each other yet. Interesting. But there we go. Let's have a quick look at the players, and then we'll check out who is the Manchester United manager. So, Sam Gallagher of QPR is the top scorer in the same division as Alexis Sanchez. That's some achievement for that guy, that is. Well, not so much a strange one. I suppose anyone can bang the goals in for one club. You know, if that's like the only player that's scoring for them. But let's have a little look. Who is the Man United manager now? Right, what is going on? Paul Heckingbottom is the Manchester United manager. Right, now I remember who Paul Heckingbottom is. He obviously took over from Barnsley after Lee Johnson left. So he was their reserves manager, took over as interim manager or caretaker manager as we know it, and then obviously got the job as Barnsley manager. And this is our first season, so he must have had a really good season with Barnsley because he ended up bagging himself the Hull job. Now he's got to have done well at Hull because he is now the Man United manager. So he's only 42 as well. So young managers, could that be another one? That's the way forward. Eddie Howe is the manager of Chelsea. Paul Heckingbottom is the manager of Man United. Young, up-and-coming English managers. Well, this game is developing rather interestingly at the moment. Unfortunately, this is the end of the episode. Not so unfortunate for some, maybe, but there we go. So this season is turning out quite predictably. I think the better stuff is going to happen when all six are back in the Premier League, or even when the first two make it there. Man United and Arsenal well on course for that, and the others following behind. So in 3 seasons' time, all six should be back in the Premier League. Will they have what it takes to get themselves back up to the top? Well, in the next few episodes, we're certainly going to find that out. Thanks again for watching all, and cheerio for now.